Hi, Christian. We're here in Abu Dhabi together, which is actually the first time. We've been in different parts of the world together.
Yeah, we've been to
Washington,
India,
Dubai,
Washington,
Pakistan, Paris.
Yeah, Paris, Lisbon, different places.
First time here.
First time in Abu Dhabi.
First time in Abu Dhabi. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Abu Dhabi is really having a moment now. I think all of the cultural institutions, everything's kind of now coming to fruition that everyone has heard about. Mm-hmm. The Louvre, we have the Nomad Art Fair going on right now, Art Abu Dhabi. It's a real kind of special time that you're here.
But it's very interesting because I do remember coming and staying in a hotel where you had those big maquettes, I don't know how you say in English, scale things.
Yes.
So you had the Louvre, you had different museums.
Saw them all in their model forms.
Exactly.
And now you're actually, so yesterday you saw the Louvre, you actually saw it in its real form. Was it your first time?
No, it was not my first time at the Louvre. I've been several times. I even made part of an exhibition there. I mean, professionally.
Yeah.
And which was 2 years ago. So I had come 2 years ago, and then I had come for around the opening moment too. So I knew the Louvre. But it's the first time that I would see, not as a maquette, but I would see the skeleton appearing appearing just like in Lawrence of Arabia when you do see a little bit of a mirage appearing, this kind of sand castle, which is going to be the Guggenheim Museum. Beautiful.
It's incredible. Mm-hmm. That whole island, Saadiyat Island, is going to be something very special. Mm-hmm. This is a special moment for the brand also in Abu Dhabi, right? Because you have a very special collection that is being previewed to the world here first, the Hollywood collection.
The Hollywood collection.
And you have your store has been totally redesigned and you're relaunching it. I think later today you'll go see a lot of clients there. And tomorrow night you have the Red Club popping up at the Louvre. So this time in Abu Dhabi right now, I mean, you're here, you're getting to spend a few days. Is it a special moment for you? Why is Abu Dhabi right now kind of the right time for you to do so much here?
There is one thing so I am French and I was born and raised in Paris. So I was born there and raised there. And so when you're French and you're raised in France, there is one thing which is kind of exciting when you're a kid, and it's you learn about history. So about history, when we learn in France, 3 antique civilization.
Yeah.
Egypt, Greece, and Rome. Mm-hmm. My favorite one was Egypt for a zillion of reasons. But there was something which I loved about Rome is that, which is probably completely fake, but still it's interesting, that you learn something at school which is kind of fake, is that Rome was built in 7 days.
Right. The building of Rome is
the building of Rome. And I think that as a kid, it's a very kind of emotional thing. You imagine a city coming out of kind of almost nowhere.
Yeah.
In 7 days. So the emergence of a civilization. Yeah. And I've been traveling kind of all my life, and I always had in the back of my mind this possible moment to see an emerging thing coming out from almost nothing, and just like that, popping up. And you barely have that. Yeah. And when I saw the maquette in Abu Dhabi, the maquette of this island, I thought this is really the beginning of a blossoming of a civilization. Yeah. So now seeing it in real, I really have, literally for almost the first time, the strong feeling of an emergence in French, the emergence of a new culture and civilization. Yeah. And that's really a thing that when you're a kid, that's one thing that you want to experience one time in your life.
I wanted to ask you about that. I know you have a special collection that you do specifically to help artisans in different parts of the world. Mm-hmm. You work with artisans across the world, from Ghana to Bhutan and Mexico, and I know that's also been a main pillar of what you do. But in fashion in general now, it's a very fine line, as they say, between appropriation of a culture and then using inspiration or collaborating with artisans. What is the difference between getting inspired by a certain style, which I'm sure you also get inspired by many places, and then actually working with artisans as you do on many of your collections?
So first, we're talking somehow of inspiration. Mm-hmm. And I think that being inspired is natural when you're a designer, when you're a creator, whatever. You are inspired by if you're not inspired, nothing is going to come out from your hands, from your brain, from whatever. So it's a very normal process to be inspired. And you're not inspired by nothing. You're inspired by people you see. You're inspired by landscape. You're inspired by object. You're inspired by art. You're inspired by whatever you're experiencing. Yeah. So first of all, I think it is the most stupid thing to say to people, you cannot speak about that because this is not your culture.
Right.
From the last 6,000 years, culture have crossed and have brought things from one to another. It's a very important thing.
Yeah.
Commerce is one thing which has brought also people to trade. Even trading has been an important thing. What are you trading? Things which are coming from another country to your country, or you're bringing from your country things that is not belonging to another country. Trade has been able to also process the fact that people communicate between each other. So that's a very important thing. So cultural appropriation is when people are telling me that sometimes when I do things, there is some cultural appropriation, question mark, I say, you rephrase. It's not cultural appropriation, it's cultural fascination. I've always been fascinated by different cultures, and I always speak about it. So if there is a problem with cultural appropriation is when people are really doing a copy of something and not quoting or crediting what the inspiration is coming from. Yeah. That's a nonsense, but I've always been very, very, open to the fact that I love everything from the entire world. Yeah. And I think the celebration of different culture is important.
And on cultural mixing, I mean, the UAE is such a special place because it is a cultural mix of people. The native population is relatively small, and they've invited and always been a trading post. So they've always had a mix of people. So here, I mean, you probably feel it every time you're here. You'll meet someone who's obviously Emirati, Arabs from all over, Indians, Pakistanis that have settled here. So it kind of epitomizes, I think, the strength of what the UAE is in so many ways also.
But again, in a conversation, when people are talking of where they're coming from, it's kind of more interesting to me when they say, actually, my father came from Africa and they migrated there, and then he met my mother, who was from Canada, and moved to the south to study, It's more than, okay, I'm coming from this village, like 4,000 years ago, we were always like all stuck in that village. And that's it. I don't see the point of like being so happy of coming from a lineage straight.
Everything moves, and you have to be on the move. And you're a man always on the move. You're always traveling. Is there any place, I know how passionate you are about travel.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much Arabic coffee can we have before getting
I know, are we going to start shaking? I think, let's go for it. Okay. I'll have more too. You actually have a heritage that's not fully from Brittany. Can you share a little bit about what the discovery that you made had a few years ago, or several years, was it 10 years ago?
11 years ago now.
Okay.
11 years ago now. Yeah, I have 3 sisters. So my older sister came for lunch in Paris. She's living in Brittany. And then she wanted to tell me one thing. So basically, to make the story short, she told me that our father was not my father. My biological father was Egyptian, which was kind of a surprise for me, of course, because of my mother. But then suddenly I could imagine, my skin tone, etc., which is not exactly from Brittany. I mean, if I look at my sisters, I'm definitely darker. So it was a bit of a surprise. And at the same time, when I was talking to my closest friend about that, no one seemed surprised. So I went that same night. I had to go to this big party. So probably the first time, I want to go to bed kind of early because I think when I'm going to sleep, when I'm going to wake up, I will be slightly a different person. So what's going to happen in my sleeps actually? And what are going to be my dreams? I mean, the unconscious is so important when you have a kind of news like that. And so I went to bed and woke up. I had no dreams, nothing. Just wanted my cafe, croissant.
You were just the same.
I didn't want some food or anything. I was completely the same person. And I think that at this point I realized that it was already, somehow it was already integrated in my brain. So that was not at all a shock or anything. My real shock is when I came to Egypt, I thought I'm going to have a kind of moment, and
Like,
I'm going
this is
to
my land.
kiss the land, etc. And then I arrived in Egypt, I was, the same. Oh God, the car is not there. There is a problem there. It's too hot. Where is my suitcase? That's about it.
But it was already your home in so many ways before knowing it was your blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Egypt, of course, has been a long time love of yours, and then you have this Egyptian heritage. But you also spend a lot of time discovering so many other parts of the world. I know one of the times, I think when we first met, actually, we had this conversation about 15 years ago, and you told me, oh, you go to Pakistan a lot. I've never been to Pakistan. And then out of nowhere, you pulled out the name of an artist who you had been collecting that you found in a fair, and it turned out he's actually one of Pakistan's biggest contemporary artists. But you don't just love something. Then you said, let's go. And we did this trip where we walked from India across the border to Pakistan, and you spent a week exploring.
Lahore.
And you went to the Lahore College of Art, which is a very famous miniature school of miniature art. And you really, it was so fun to be there with you, because I get to see how you think as an artist too. And you immerse yourself. Is that for you just the only way you want to travel and discover, or is it, do you think of a place that I've never been there, I want to go, or are you like, oh, I know a person and then let me see, or I'm fascinated with a bit of art from somewhere? What leads you?
I kind of refer to me as a kid. I think that kids have, with some innocence, they are sometimes dreaming of, when I will be an adult, I want to do that. Or, for instance, I remember as a kid, I always thought, when I'm an adult, I want to go to the airport and check the first plane and take a ticket and go there. Well, it kind of didn't happen that way, but somehow it happens. Yeah. And it's more complicated that now to take a ticket, like that, you may need a visa, But anyway, you have those kind of things when you're a kid thinking you want a happy life with a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to keep on being faithful to this child that I was, that I'm no longer meaning, you want to do one thing, just do it, instead of thinking, overthinking.
Yeah.
I'm a person who doesn't overthink, I have to say.
Yeah.
I act, and then I think why I acted the way I acted, instead of thinking, should I act, should I do that, should I, why, and taking, forever to try to have to have a decision. I act immediately, and then I think, why did I do that? But it's been bringing me to a lot of places, it's been bringing me to a lot of corners somehow, and a lot of experiences that I would have never done if ever I did not have that kind of way of being. Yeah. Meaning, I'm kind of privileged enough to be able to do a lot of things, and so I should actually do it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and share it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, and it's almost like it's a no fear approach actually to life in so many ways. In that, whether it's travel, or whether it's trying something new, whether it's the direction you take your design from the beginning.
I think that there is one thing that I realize also, is that there is a lot of preconceived ideas, and about people, about culture, about how people are functioning in a country where you've never been. The only way to be able to discuss that with a little bit of substance is if you go there. Yeah. But otherwise, do not discuss things that you think that you're right when you just don't know.
Yeah.
And I have this friend who is Indian who told me one time, and it's actually, it's a good, I wouldn't say a lesson, but it's a good way of thinking. I was talking of someone and I said, I don't really know if I know that person very well and if I really like that person because I don't know. Right. He says, okay, so sometimes if you wonder about one person, what you think about the person or how the person is, you just have to put them in a category. Somehow there are 4 categories. You have people who think they know and they know.
Yeah.
You have people who think they know and they don't know. You have people who think they don't know but they know. And you have people who think they don't know and they don't know. Try to, when you're thinking of a person, try to put the person in one of the categories, and it would highlight somehow the way you're thinking of it. So I'm, for instance, someone I know that I don't know.
Yeah.
So when you know that you don't know, if you want to know, you have to do a practice and you have to go to people, you have to go to places in order to have an opinion. Otherwise, shut up.
Yeah. Your shows have now become the talk of Fashion Month, actually. And the world of Louboutin has just grown to be so much more. And I know from when you launched the brand, theater was such a huge inspiration. And now, I mean, your last show, which as an American very much resonated with me, which was all about recreating football and homecoming, was phenomenal. And no one thought you could top the one before that, which was the synchronized swimmers. Where do you have these incredible ideas, and how do you do so much and execute on it? I mean, it's phenomenal.
First of all, I have a team, so it's a teamwork. So I really have to thank my team and embrace my team when it's about projects like the shows that we're doing, that we're producing. So that's one thing. I kind of wanted to express the fact that fashion has and should remain a place, a territory where you're having fun. Because again, when you're a kid or if you're a teenager, if you like fashion, it's on the fun side of it. It's not because it may be a business for you, etc. Because it seems like a happy world. It seems like a funny world. And so again, I'm trying to keep that side of fashion, which somehow doesn't exist anymore that much.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about, we were just chatting about what your plans are for the new year, and I know you're going to be in LA, and you're working with your new men's creative director, Jaden Smith, and that also made waves around the world when that announcement was made. And it was so interesting and so provocative. People had a lot of strong thoughts and responses. But again, that's Christian having no fear, doing something that may not have been expected. Can you tell me a little bit now about where you are in that process of working together and how you work together?
So we announced Jaden becoming the main creative director at Louboutin in, I think, September. Yes, September. But I've been working with Jaden since April before. So April 2025, 25, we were September now. Oh, yeah, we're still in 25. So, so since April 25. And so to me, of course, it was not a surprise. And but it came kind of naturally, because men has become very important for us. And then, well, first of all, let's say, why Jaden? Because I never really thought of a creative director. I mean, not needed, I have a team and I'm there. But I've known Jaden since before COVID, so 2019. And then every time we've been having those conversations, it was interesting. He would come to me, first in the most polite way. He's one of the nicest and most polite person that I have ever met. And he would come and kind of have questions. So, and I would have to have answers. But he would already have answers to his questions. He just wanted to double check. So sometimes he was like, oh, it's funny that you're saying that because on my side, I'm thinking this. So we already had a lot of conversation, kind of creative conversation. And so at one point I thought about him. So that was this year. I thought about him. I was swimming actually. And suddenly I thought about Jaden because we had this conversation. I thought, all those conversations should be maybe brought into a more professional way. He should actually take over that part because he's so into it anyway.
He was so passionate about it.
And for years I've been seeing him, the way he is, the way he dresses, the way he's thinking, the way he's putting colors together, the way he's interested by photography, the way he's been doing this collaboration, shoes collaboration with New Balance, etc. The way he's really always on details kind of reminded me of me.
It's interesting because luxury and fashion and everything has changed so much. In a way, it's become so much more democratized, which is, a very good thing. Social media makes everything so accessible to people. But the business has changed so much, and you've had so much longevity in the business, 30 years. But at some point, there's, what's this new generation?
34 years.
Is it 34 now? Wow. Yeah. So we're almost at your 35th anniversary, which is incredible. Staying relevant is not an easy thing in this industry where everything is so fast-paced. So are you now also always looking through things from the lens of who are the customers now? And I also want to mentioned that you have daughters that are 10 now. And so that age is also very important now, because I'm sure you're seeing so many things differently through them. And how does that all affect you and how you work and how you think about the company, how you think about your designs? And
I think that you just have to, I don't know about that. I just know that enthusiasm is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And to keep your enthusiasm, it's also keeping a team which is an enthusiast team, and also, but keeping your own enthusiasm is to basically keep on being open to other people. I'm doing a job which includes a lot of people, which includes a team, but I'm not talking of the team, I'm talking of customers, etc. So you kind of have to be in tune with the world somehow.
Yeah.
So it's not a question that I'm questioning to myself, it's a natural thing. And one day I may be fed up. I don't stop the fact that if one day I'm fed up with what I'm doing, I will step out. And I think it's almost like when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Let's say
it's over.
Somehow it's over. But if you're in a relationship and it's kind of respectful to why you are in this relationship, you keep it.
Yeah.
Somehow, if you don't have that, you go away, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that as much as I see in myself the enthusiasm and the love that I have for my work, it kind of communicates to other people, but also engaging different people and continuing conversation with people makes you keep on being alive, and to be a vessel for other people to express themselves.
Yeah, and you keep innovating and you keep surprising people with what you're doing. So you're not ready to think about passing on the torch in any way. Some people thought, bringing in someone like Jayden might be a move towards
No. I think, it's great to have a great new energy with someone and that you've been kind of not working with, but already speaking to a lot.
Yeah.
Now we have a joke because when he arrives, he's moving to Paris. When he arrives, there is something very different. So, for instance, I see in the office, the girls put a little bit more makeup. The guys are very, are very careful to what they wear. So I was like, Safquat. So Safquat, who was working with me, I said, "What happened? This is not Fashion Week." He said, "No, boss, it's Jayden Week."
That's great.
It comes to the same.
Yeah, that's great. So a lot of people, high-profile people. Hollywood loves you. From the very beginning, Hollywood has loved you. And now you have a Hollywood collection that's coming out that we get to see here in Abu Dhabi first, a preview, which I think is in the stores 2 weeks before it is anywhere else in the world. Can you tell us a little bit about the Hollywood collection and what Hollywood means to you?
Well, somehow, if I have to speak of Hollywood, it's called Hollywood because it actually will go to America after here. But it's really the idea of the entertainment industry. So, for instance, it's a moment where, in the entertainment industry, you have a lot of moments where you have to stand up, be photographed, be looking good, So it's really kind of that side, let's say, of that industry. So I should say Hollywood, but probably also Bollywood.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make a lot of difference. The only difference I would say is actually maybe in terms of colors.
Yeah.
But otherwise, so it's a kind of part of the collection which is really dedicated and specifically dedicated to really look good, but it has to see with structure, really, because in general, people are going to wear something with a long dress, a long pants or whatever. So it's actually keeping on the very high profile, high side of the heel, on height of the heel.
Right. So that's what Hollywood is to you. It's the glamour of it.
Yeah.
There's no
as
red
simple
carpet.
As that.
There's no red carpet in the world now that's not filled with Louboutins. So you kind of are synonymous with Hollywood in so many ways.
So why not embracing it?
Yeah, exactly. Own it, fully own it. So why does Abu Dhabi get it first?
Because I am in Abu Dhabi, and also we just redid the stores that we have in Abu Dhabi. So I thought that when you arrive with a new store, and I'm arriving there, I should arrive with a part of the collection that you're not going to see. I basically carried the collection kind of on my back almost, and then ship it back to America.
Yeah, I want to talk about the new store. So you've redesigned your store here, and I'm going to pardon my French being terrible. Le volière sur le Nil.
What?
Le volière sur le Nil.
Le voilier sur le Nil.
Le volière sur le Nil.
Oui.
Which is the sailboat on the Nile, for those of us who don't
Exactly.
speak French. And that's the theme of this store, which is so beautiful. And I believe it's also on the water at Almaria Island. Tell me a little bit. I know you are so passionate about each and every one of your stores. And I think there's
130, I think.
130 now. And you really do personally get very involved in the design of each one. And
Most
I know
of them.
a lot of, I mean, I remember the days when you'd be in Chor Bazaar in Bombay and picking up things that would eventually end up in your boutiques around the world. Tell us what to expect here in Abu Dhabi.
So here it's because it's the connection with the sea kind of made sense to have a connection with water. And so that's why it's called the Voilier sur le Nil, which means the sailboat on the Nile. So, but it also has to see with texture, colors, it needs to be solar, etc., more wood, you know, so I got attached to the fact that it's almost like if you are looking at the river or the sea, basically water from a boat.
I remember once you told me your business partner Bruno laughed that every time you like a place, you buy a house there. And like, don't fall in love too much with the place because you're going to end up buying another home. But homes are very special to you. And why is it important for you to enjoy having a home in a place when you really love it? I know you had one in Aleppo as well, which you loved. And I know
I
now
still
is
do.
I still have it. But there's so many places, Brazil, I think, as well, and of course, Egypt, which we've spoken about, Paris, Lisbon, which you have a beautiful home in Lisbon,
Portugal.
Melides, and of course, the hotel. How are hotels kind of an extension of what you love and are passionate about? Was it a natural segue into thinking about expanding your universe?
First of all, it was a very practical thing because as I buy so many objects,
You need a place to put them.
you need a place to put them. So instead of having them in a storage, it's way better to display them in a nice place. But it, again, you know, as I was saying previously, I'm acting first and then after I think why I've been acting. So I actually, in Portugal, so the birth of that hotel is that I was going to open a small restaurant in the place where I have a house, so I could go to the restaurant instead of having
To eat
my
at home
house
all the
to
time.
eat at home all the time in the evening.
Right.
And so when I bought this little house to do a restaurant in a small village called Melides, the mayor came to me and said, by the way, you have a piece of land. Why don't you build a hotel instead of building a restaurant? So I said, okay. And then I did. And then after I thought, why did I say yes? I mean, you know, it's crazy. It's not that I need a job or anything. But anyway, I realized that again, it's very much of a fantasy of a lot of people to have a hotel.
Yeah.
Because it's, I thought about it. It's somehow it's a place which belongs to you, but it doesn't really belong to you. It hosts people that you may not know, but that you don't know in general. And if you go there, you're kind of pampered, but you don't have, when you have a house, you feel responsible for your house. When you have a hotel, you don't feel responsible.
Yeah.
There is an operator, they do everything. You just have to relax on it. So it's a different way of having a place.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice place. It's really more chilling somehow. But also, I have to say, there is one thing which is important. There is always a question which has come back to me, which is the border, the thin line between art and artisan, or artisanship and artist, or artist
And you
and
never call
artisan.
yourself an artist, although you're one of the most creative people I know.
Yeah, I feel like an artisan. And so a hotel is also a way to, you know, if you speak of community, why, for instance, I like artisans? Well, first of all, my father was an artisan.
Yeah, he was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter. But also, I think that you see pieces, objects, you know, we're talking, I think tomorrow starts Nomad, so it has to see, it's linked to objects too. So that's why it's interesting to have Nomad in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
But for instance, the border is really thin. Sometimes you see objects, and they are really spectacular objects, and there is so much passion in that object, but it's just not signed.
Yeah.
It's not signed because an artisan has given that to a community of artisans. It can be from a village, or it can be from a town, or it can be from another form of community. But artists are signing things and they own it.
Right.
Artisans sometimes are great artists. They just don't sign it, but they give it to a community. So it's also engaging a culture which is yours. And instead of saying it's me, you give to your culture, you give to your community, to where you're coming from, your work, your passion, and you insert it into the world instead of saying it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. So I don't say that artists should not say it's mine, it's mine. When it's there, it's there. But I absolutely, I think it's it's also very interesting, the side of artisans who are ready to give their own personality to a larger group than themselves.
That's a beautiful distinction, because an artisan is sort of very open and it's about
an artisan, great artisans are great vessels to their own culture. That's why it's so important to protect artisanship.
Yes.
Because it's not only individuals, but it's a full community which speaks by the hands of one person.
Yeah. This has been so wonderful having you here. And I can see that you love Abu Dhabi. When are you going to be back again?
I don't know, but I'm considering coming back with my daughter, so probably either February or either that time of the year looks fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you, my friend. This was like always beautiful, and thank you for everything you bring to the world and the magic of your red souls. Thank you.